Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing you three very exciting makeovers. These vases and planters end up looking so high-end, and I am absolutely in love with the way they turned out. So for the very first one, I am going to use some spackling as well as some dirt and some white acrylic paint. And this planter I have picked up at Dollarama a while back. I've had it for a very long time. I wasn't using it, it was just sitting on a shelf because it was just kind of boring looking. So I wanted to give it some of that French vintage look that I've been going after, and I saw a reel on Instagram of somebody doing this, and I cannot remember who it was because it was in my search that it just popped up. And but they had recreated they had created this almost like a clay finish on the planter, but I couldn't catch exactly the materials they were using, so I kind of made my own, thinking that this is what this would give me the same result. So the first thing that I do is I make sure that the planter is clean of any things like stickers or dirt or dust. And when that's done, I proceed by applying some of that spackling on, and I just brush it on with the bristle brush. So I'm not going for a full coverage, I am just simply adding texture to the planter. Once you have the whole planter covered and you have added the right amount of texture, you can let it dry. I was speeding up the process by using my heating tool just to dry the spackling, but you can also just set it aside and let it dry on its own. Once it was dry, I took that dirt, and this is dirt and sand mixed together. It's just right out of my garden, and I took a clean brush and just brushed it into all the little nooks and crevices. I was thinking as I was doing this that another way that you could achieve this look is if you had an antiquing wax and just going over the raised areas. I think it would give it a pretty similar look, but we are going for easy, inexpensive, so this is dirt right out of the garden. And I love the age effect that it had given this planter. It's hard to see on the camera, but it did stain the little erased areas, which is what I was going after. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, I would love it if you considered subscribing, pressing the notification bell so you don't miss out any of my future uploads. I do treasure makeovers, thrift store upcycles, and furniture makeovers, as well as some dollar store DIYs, about 3 times a week. So make sure that bell is on so you get notified when the new upload has loaded. And if you're not following along on Instagram, make sure you look me up there. It is Domestic Diva 76. So, and I share quite a bit there, not just DIYs, but also life, cooking, cleaning, and all sorts of stuff. And I would love it if you join me there as well. So now that I had applied enough dirt, I move on to applying a very light coat of the paint. I have cleaned the brush off dirt because you want to do that so that way your paint doesn't end up looking beige. It's still white, and like I said, I am applying very light coat because I want that stain to look to kind of show through. I love that this technique made this planter from boring plastic one to something that you would find at a flea market. It looks very antique and a lot of texture on it. So almost like a clay pot, but one of those really old ones. I'm not sure if you know what I'm going after. I just love the way this looks, and a little touch of lavender here and there with some moss just completed the project. I am so in love with this. I think it's going to look great on my coffee table. For the next one, I have had this other vase for quite some time as well, and it was a brown ceramic color which I no longer used in my decor, so I wanted to give it some new life before throwing it out. Well, not before throwing it out, so I don't throw it out. And for this, I went with a very popular technique all over the place right now, and it is equal amounts of baking soda and equal amounts of paint. I am using my Athenian black chalk paint in any Sloan and just regular baking soda. So I mixed the baking soda and paint up, and before I applied the paint, which you already saw, I gave the vase a good cleaning. It that way it just makes sure that the paint sticks to the surface. Originally, I was going to use a bristle brush to apply this paint, but I did not love the way the how it was looking, so I end up switching to the just a sponge brush. This paint technique has definitely given this vase a totally different texture. I think if you went with white and just left it at that would look amazing. But I will not be done with just the paint. I will do one more thing after that. So once you cover the whole vase with the paint, you want to let it dry completely before moving on to the next step. And for the next step, I am using that dirt that I've used in a previous project, and I just pour it on and rub everywhere. And eventually you're gonna get to the point where the dirt is not coming off at all, but it has clung to all these little textures that the baking soda paint left. And I absolutely love the way this turned out. I think it turned out exactly the look that I was going for, and it does not look like a dirty vase. It looks amazing. That give it that concrete look, that textured concrete look.
You know I want you close, maybe hold your hand a little while. Somehow I know you're gonna be the girl that I'll end up calling my own. We ride around
The texture on this turned out so great, and I love how the mud just accented the texture.
Somehow I know you're gonna be the girl that I'll end up calling my own. We ride around in style, sleeves rolled up, glasses on.
And the last technique that I'm showing you, I am using this textured glass vase. Again, another one in my decor stash that I wasn't using. And I give it a light coat of spray. This is just a regular Rust-Oleum black matte paint. It's not chalk paint, just a regular black matte paint. And once that has fully, completely dried, you don't want it to be sticky at all. I take the cornstarch this time and rub that in. And I just make sure that it gets into all the crevices. I do believe that this does work best if your vase or your pot has pre-existing curves and crevices that this cornstarch can go on. And again, you want to rub it until you get to the point where nothing is falling off.
Heart starts racing when I'm with you. When I'm with you.
I love the way this turned out, but I have to admit, out of all the projects, this one is definitely my least favorite. But I still think it looks better than what it did. I would like to thank you all for watching. Let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite and which techniques you might be trying out. And don't forget to check out a video that I will link at the end to see some more of the painting techniques that I've done last week on one of my pots. So until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching.
Can't get enough of this. Being with you is like never ending sunshine. Feels like every